I had grown up in a very rural part of England, in a very conservative family, where you didn't discuss relationships and you didn't discuss sex. So I went off to university and I was quite ignorant about a lot of things.
And I remember my first few weeks being a bit of an eye-opener.
Towards the end of term, as pressures of revising began to loom, I took myself off to a concert. Spotted this guy.
And during the interval, I went to the foyer and noticed a man had followed me out.
As often as the way, we began talking, and at the end of the concert, we swapped numbers, and he said he would give me a call. He did call, and we did what I call old-fashioned dating for a while. Out to movies, out for a meal, even bought me the occasional bunch of flowers.
So I fell head over heels in love with this guy pretty quickly.
And within a couple of months, I could see it heading down the road of a sexual relationship. And I thought, well, I'm not on a pill, and the last thing I need is to become pregnant. So I've got to have this discussion about using condoms, and thankfully he was fine about it.
Then, towards the end of June, a condom split, and Ian became exceptionally agitated about it.
And I said, oh, calm down, I'll get the morning after pill. It's no big deal, I didn't even think about it. And then, about 15 minutes later, he said, look, it's not getting you pregnant, I'm worried about it.
It's because I'm HIV positive.
11 weeks later, I made an appointment with the hospital to have a HIV test done. However, I went confidently knowing that my only risk factor was this one incident with Ian.
A sample of blood was taken. I was told to return back to the clinic at 5 o'clock.
I spent the day aimlessly wandering around London. All I could think about was getting back to the hospital to find out if I was okay. Shortly after 5 p.m, the counsellor came into the waiting room and called my name.
He sat down next to me and told me my test results had come back positive.
I had recently been infected with HIV. No, that can't be right.
And it can't have happened to me.
There must be a mistake with the test. My life changed forever with those words.
There is no turning back. You cannot unhear words.
The date was September the 11th, 1991. I had to think about telling my parents. My father died when I was 6, so that just left my mother and my 2 sisters.
There's no textbook on how to tell people you have a serious illness.
I went to visit my mother and younger sister, and my mother's a very conservative woman, so I wasn't sure how she was going to react. So I thought, tell her I'm working with an AIDS charity, just to bring in the topic.
And she said, well, that's very good of you, but I don't understand why you bother with people with AIDS.
They've got what they deserve. What do you mean, Mum? It's no one's fault if they've got HIV. No one deserves to be infected.
Well, you don't see people like us getting it, do you? If they weren't doing that sort of thing, they wouldn't be in that mess.
I took a deep breath and told her what had happened. And in essence, she freaked out.
She accused me of having sex with all the men at my university.
Couldn't understand why I had graduated if I was going to be dead in a few months. And told me I was never to have sex again in case I got pregnant and infected an innocent baby.
So I figured she was taking it quite badly and could probably do with some counselling. So I offered her a helpline to phone.
And she said, I don't want to speak to anyone about this. How on earth would people react if they knew this had happened in our family? She said, I don't want anyone knowing about this. And I don't want you telling anyone.
Anyway, I let it go, and within a couple of weeks she'd calmed down and phoned again.
So I thought, oh great, she's got over the initial shock. But unfortunately, she just phoned to say, I'm making plans for Christmas, I want to know what you're doing.
Coming home, like I've done every year, Mum?
Yes, I've decided I can't risk your sisters getting this. I don't want you coming home.
And that, for me, was the first realisation that HIV isn't like any other serious illness.
And I thought, if my own mum doesn't want me in the house, maybe I should keep my mouth shut and not talk about this. But then there was this other part of me that thought, if my own mother's is ignorant, there must be an awful lot of parents of her generation who need educating, as well as younger people.